this is another video. If you've seen the video of trapping a spirit in a jar, then you are already familiar with, well, sort of familiar with the spirit that's going to be featured in this. So I did go back and talk to the client, and she has decided to go ahead and let Alice be put up for sale. So she shipped me the doll that Alice was originally in. It's very hard to see her in this. I do have the overhead lighting shooting because I'm shooting on 2 different cameras. I would definitely prefer to have the night vision camera just in case something gets caught going by. I do have, as you can see behind me, I do have my new backdrop up, and depending on if this camera or the other camera malfunctions, then you might actually get to see the color version of the background. If you look on my eBay auctions, you will see the background in most of my shots from now on. So this is Alice's doll, and you'll be able to get better color shots of her on my eBay site. And as you remember, I did go ahead and trap her inside this jar. Now, Alice cannot hear anything that I'm saying right now because she is in the jar. Okay? There's only 2 ways that she can hear exactly what I'm saying about her. Either I connect with her like this, or I actually form a bridge by touching the jar so that she can use me to communicate. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to communicate with her. Now I'm going to prove my point about Alice. Alice, can you hear me? Alice, can you move the pendulum? She can't hear me at all. So what we're going to do is I'm going to move the pendulum up over here so you can see it a little bit better. Maybe kind of hard. It's kind of hard because I have to like do this and do this. Okay. So I'm going to touch this now. And as soon as I touched it, I could feel her energy. Alice. Okay. Do you know what's going on? Okay. So Alice, here's the deal. Do you see your doll sitting right next to the jar? Okay. So I was told to go ahead and put you up for sale again. Do you want to go up for sale? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to inform some people about things that you told me that did not get. It was, I don't believe it made it into the description. It might have. Oh, and by the way, I caught on to that little whammy that you put on me. Yeah, I took care of it. It's gone. Yeah, she's not happy because she, if you remember in that video, she wanted to get into a Who's a Bigger Better Witch match with me, and I won in the way that I got her into the jar. But before she went, she put a little whammy on me, and I've been having all kinds of bad luck. So I just took care of that the other day. So that is off of me. But it just goes to prove how powerful she is, because when I had summoned her down to speak to her, she was inside of a protective circle. So she was able to extend her power out of the circle to whammy me. So she is pretty powerful. All right, so I'm going to just hold this. So, okay, move this off to the side. So now, In life, much like me, she was a necromantic witch. Now, were you a Psy vampire as well? No. Um, how did you access power? What was your way to access the power for necromantic spells? Earth magic, she's saying. Earth magic? Is this up high? Yeah, earth magic. Fire. She's saying fire. Did you live? Well, where did you live? Are you American? No, she's not American. I get the feeling that she lived. Did you live in Spain? Okay. Are you actually Spanish though? No, she's not. She's English, but she lived in Spain. Okay. What time frame are we talking? I think she died in 1930, and I just saw that. You died in 1930, right? Okay. What year were you born? Is that was that the 1870s you said? I think it's 1872. Is that right? 1872? Okay, so she was born in 1872, she died in 1930. Now, were you born in England? Was your father in the army? No, he wouldn't have been able to bring a wife in the English army at that time. He was he wasn't a business owner, but he was a merchant. Did he own a ship? Okay. Were you born on the ship? Okay. Now I understand why he was a merchant, but he didn't own a business. He owned his own ship, so he basically sailed around, bought goods, sold them. That's what he did. Yep. That's exactly what he did. Had you been living in Spain long? No. I want to say there's an Italy connection. I think she was living in Italy for a long time. Is that where you learned magic? Mm-hmm. Yep. That's where she learned it. You said you use fire. Were you by any of the inactive volcanoes? I think she's saying she was by Vesuvius. Okay, so she's saying she used, I guess it would be like, but it's an, well, I guess a volcano is never really inactive because lava is under the ground. Was there energy in the ground because there was lava flowing under it? Okay, so that's how you got your magic? That's how you got your energy from? Okay. Okay. So, she would call on the dead. Absolutely. Did you call on the dead? What for what? Exactly what were you doing with your magic. Divination. She said it was mostly about divination and telling, finding the future, getting answers. Because she would have customers come to her and they wanted answers, and she would use her necromantic skills call on the spirits, and that's how she would get her answers. Did you use your necromantic magic for ill wills? Crossing people, hexing people. She's saying no, but I get the feeling that's not exactly true. I don't think she did it for herself, but you did it for other people, didn't you? She's telling me no, but I don't feel that that's right. I don't feel that's right. I don't think you're being honest with me. There's something, you're hiding something, and I know it, and I can feel it. She did something bad. I'm like digging into her memories, basically. And the more I dig, the more she's trying to pull it back. So she did something and she doesn't want to tell me. But it's something like this. Like, you'll notice when my spirits that I've done in other interviews, they tell me they don't want to talk about this, they don't want to talk about that. I kind of leave it alone. But in this case, when we're talking about necromantic witches, and I know the things that you can do that you can have them do for you. I know what they are capable of, and I know what that magic is capable of. This has some bad potential, and I need to know what she did. You did something, Alice. You need to tell me what you did. Because if you don't tell me what you did, I'm gonna find it. And it's not gonna be pretty the way I find it. Because I trapped you in a jar, Alice. If you think I can't find it, you're sadly mistaken. So why don't you, tell me? Or actually, why don't you show me? Because I don't really believe what you're going to tell me. She's showing me a dead body. It's a man. What did you do? Did you know this man? No. Oh, God. I know what she tried to do. I know what she tried to do now. Somebody came to her, basically dragging this body with them, and asked her to bring their soul back into that body. What I want to know is, were you successful? Yeah, because that's not what we can do. We can't do it once the soul is out. It's out. I mean, it's like, if you're dead, you're not getting back in that body. I mean, it's, they say you flatlined or whatever. The problem is, when you're really dead, your attachment, just like, okay, perfect example, like with spirit dolls. Spirits are bonded with those dolls. As soon as that bond is broken with that doll, they're not going to be able to go back to that doll. That's it. The bond is broken and it's closed off to them. It's the same principle with human bodies and their souls. If the bond with the human body, imagine it like an umbilical cord. Your soul is attached by an umbilical cord to your human body. Imagine it that way. Once that cord is broken, it means that this body is closed off to you. You cannot get back in. There is no way for you. There's no line. There's no lead. There's no way for you to follow to get back into that body. So you may flatline, you may go to another place, but your umbilical cord is still intact, and you can basically snap back into your body. Once that is broken, you can't do it. And this body had been dead long enough that she couldn't do it. But did you know that you couldn't do it? She says she didn't know if she could or she couldn't, but she wanted, I don't know if it's this fame or prestige so bad that she attempted it anyway. And something very bad happened because you conjured up the wrong thing. She conjured up something very bad. She went way out of her league, way over her head, and she conjured up something bad. How bad? She's like, she won't tell me. She's just like, so she conjured up something bad. I don't know. Did you ever actually see this thing that you conjured? No. Did it possess someone? Did it possess the person that you wanted to, that wanted you to bring that person? Yep. Because what she did, this is what she did. Let me give you a rundown on necromantic. So what she did was she did a ritual. To find the correct soul, she used that person as kind of like a homing beacon, maybe is the word. A focal point, a fixture. Well, the problem is she called up something, and because that person was the focal point, the fixture that she was using to basically search for the soul and whatever, that person ended up getting possessed by, I don't know what it was. I don't think because she was so far out of her league. She never should have done this. Never ever. I mean, it's you know, I have tons of spirit guides. I have very powerful spirits here. You know, they guide me on things that I'm not sure of. I know I'm pretty damn powerful. I can take on a lot of big bad nasties. I have even taken on some demons. I would never attempt anything. First of all, I know that wouldn't work anyway. It just, that doesn't work. It's not going to happen. But I also know that, first of all, I would never use another human being as a focal point. You just don't do that, because this is what happens. But that's what she did. And I don't think it turned out well, because she doesn't know how to handle demons. She might now, but she didn't know then. And so that's what she was trying to hide from me. I don't necessarily think that she's evil. I don't get that she's evil. And she wasn't a bad person in life, but she just, she's cocky. She definitely does have power. If you're looking for a companion in necromantic witchcraft that has power, I mean, just even touching her jar, I can feel her power. But I don't feel that she's skilled enough, she's trained enough. And I feel she can end up getting herself in some trouble. And by proxy, whoever she's with, if she attempts something. So I would suggest that she would have to go to somebody that is skilled in handling things, more skilled than she is. I really don't want to know what happened with this, because she was way over her head and it could not have turned out well. I really don't want to hear any more of the story. If you want to hear the rest of the story from her, you can purchase her and talk to her and find out. I don't want to know any more of the story, because it could not have ended well. It couldn't have. So here's the deal with Alice. So because she wanted to get into a fight with me, she's not coming out. She's not. So if you decide you want to purchase Alice, now she is still bonded with her doll. Her bond is still there. If I were to crack this open right now, she would go right back to her doll. Okay, so it's not that she needs another doll. I don't have to do anything with her. If you purchase her, she's going to come with the doll and the jar. Okay. I am basically like a kind of like a second party seller. I'm doing this on behalf of my client. Because she didn't want Alice there. She didn't know how to deal with Alice. And since I had already trapped her here, she just said, do what you think is best with her. And Alice obviously doesn't want to stay here with me. She's not evil. That's why I don't want to keep her in the jar. I don't want her to have to stay in the jar, because she isn't an evil person. She's just a little cocky, and she wants to prove she's better, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. Or maybe she just doesn't like to think that there's other witches that are more powerful than her. Maybe. I don't know exactly why she wanted to get into a piss and match with me, but she did, and she kind of lost. So she's going to stay in her jar as long as she's here. Now, if you buy Alice, bring her home, you can decide what you're going to do. You can decide if you want to keep her in the jar and just communicate the way I am. I do think it's a little cruel, though. The only reason why I'm doing it, and I really don't like to do it. I don't like to do that at all. But the reason I'm doing it is because not only did she want to get into a pissing match with me, but she put the whammy on me for good measure. I just can't have it. Can't have it. So, and that's another reason why she needs to go up for sale. So, it would be up to you if you want to open the jar and let her go back to her doll. Alice is not for beginners. You have to kind of know what you're doing. You have to I would say you do have to understand Wicca. Gypsy magic probably would be best, because she was trained in Italy. That's where she got her training for that. And she is definitely going to be a handful, so you're going to have to be able to keep an eye on her and, do some checks around your house to make sure she isn't doing something she's not supposed to do. But she hasn't been able to hear anything that I've said about her at this point, which is just as well, because she'd probably be angry about some of the things I said about her. So Alice, is there anything else that you want me to tell anybody about you? Is there anything that you want to say before I end the recording? Nope. Are you ready to find a new home? Are you going to behave yourself in a new home? There's your clear answer right there. She's not going to behave. All right, so you're just going to do what you want to do? No, she's not saying that. What do you want in a home? What do you want to go to? What sort of situation? She says, I want power. She says, I want power. She says, and I will give benefit. What do you mean by benefit? She won't tell me. Again, I don't think she's not evil. I don't think she's a bad person. I just think, I just don't think you have your priorities maybe in the best place. Even she agrees with me on that. She has like an accent, and I can hear her say, I will do what I will do. That's what mm-hmm. All right. We done? Yes, we're done. Okay, so that is it for the interview with Alice, and I will see you in the next interview. Bye, guys.